Welcome and thanks for joining us for this episode of Scope. In recent years, violence in Papua New Guinea has reached alarming levels. In the past, most acts of violence have gone unreported, but thanks to social media, more and more atrocities have come to light, especially those against women and children. Even so, hard data on these acts are lacking. Just recently, the government and its development partners launched a system that will help track and keep this data that will be used to create policies that protect the rights of women and children in PNG.
Violence against children in Papua New Guinea is very widespread. Although comprehensive data are scarce, researches and studies show that 75% of children experience some form of violence during their childhood, often perpetrated within the home or school environment. 43% of women aged 15 to 19 years have experienced physical and/or sexual violence, with nearly one-third of women aged 20 to 24 years reporting marriage by 18 in Papua New Guinea, and 14% of adolescent girls aged 15 to 19 years have experienced sexual violence and coercion. Over the years, instances of violence against both women and children have increased, but information and data on these instances have been kept separate. Recently, studies have revealed that there are many multiple intersections between violence against children and violence against women, including risk factors, similar underlying social norms, common consequences, and intergenerational effects. This suggestion is not the first to come out of studies centered on Papua New Guinea. The Problem of Data on Crimes, a study by the Australian Institute of Criminology over 30 years ago, highlighted a need for improved supervision and recording and maintenance of statistical data and communication of data within and between justice agencies and between them and the public, among other recommendations. Last month, these recommendations materialized in the form of the launching of Primero, a data management system by the Department of Community Development with support from the UN.
It is an innovative and flexible software, basically an application that helps social services, humanitarian and development workers to manage and protect and protection-related data, including violence against women, violence against children, with tools that facilitate case management and monitoring. Also, Primero makes data handling easier and quicker for social welfare workers and service providers, freeing up their time to focus more on service provision and promoting improved quality care.
In layman's terms, the system will allow users to input data on cases they handle from wherever they are into a central system that can be accessed easily by all users, with data collection through Primero hosted in a cloud service.
While facilitating case management, Primero will also support the social welfare sector, led by the Department of Community Development, to produce much needed data on the progress of the cases. Through its different modules, Primero will allow us to gain insights into case management strategies and track the progression of cases through various services. The platform also offers an opportunity to create links with other databases. During the hearing, we heard about the database that has been deployed by the Royal Constabulary for family and child violence. The two can actually be interfaced to ensure that services are available to women and children seeking protection working together effectively, so that no information is lost actually within the bureaucracy.
PNG is now one of 32 countries that are currently using Primero. This shows that we are not alone. It also means that we have many possibilities to share our experiences, knowledge, and lessons learned with other countries on the system and on other tools that we can introduce to further support the social welfare sector. When launching the system at the APEC House in Port Moresby, Minister for Community Development Wakegoi said, "The government is the primary entity responsible to provide care and support to survivors of violence. Protection services for survivors of violence are managed by the social welfare sector, which falls under the Department of Community Development. Further to this development, PNG has also joined the Global Partnership to End Violence Against Children, becoming a pathfinding country.
Ending violence against children is right, smart, and is possible. It is right because every child should grow up safe and secure. It is smart because violence undermines investment in children's health, education, and development. The main objective of the faith finding is to raise awareness, stimulate leadership, commitment to action, and establish a standard of national violence prevention in many countries.
PNG is now a part of over 500 partners globally working to end abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and all forms of violence against and torture of children. With these developments, there is hope that PNG as a country can end violence in general, so we can build safer and stronger communities.
When we come back, church institution rallies behind serious concerns over casino. Welcome back. A 4-story casino named Pacific Pearl is set to be built in the heart of Port Moresby after a signing on Friday, 28th of June 2021. The National Gaming Control Board entered into the agreement with the Paga Hill Development Company to build a casino at Paga Hill. However, the signing has received backlash from concerned Papua New Guineans that the casino will extend the scale of gambling, leading to poverty and suffering in families and communities.
The proposed casino project will perhaps be the first sanctioned casino in the country. It is named the Pacific Pearl and will be built by the Paga Hill Development Company at a cost of 150 million kina for the first phase of the construction. Gudmunda Fredriksson, Managing Director of Paga Hill Development Company, said the project will feature a 4-story building with 8,000 square feet overlooking the Port Moresby harbour.
And this is really an entertainment precinct. It will have multitude of restaurants, probably about 25 tables, 300 gaming machines, but then a nightclub, it will have a cinema, it will have a theatre. So it's really a place for families to visit and enjoy, and even just enjoy the top of the hill with a 360-degree view.
Fredriksson said the casino is a key feature in attracting international visitors into the country, and that means it will bring revenue and economic boom. The Marape-led government in 2020 recognized the Paga Hill area as a tourism special economic zone.
We would like to thank the Marape government for the confidence and foresight they have shown us. In March last year, we signed a special economic zone agreement. We were the first special economic zone declared in Papua New Guinea. The legislation was passed by Parliament in February, and in March last year we signed the agreement. So it's Paga Hill Tourism Special Economic Zone. So Papua New Guinea needs to diversify its economy. And one of the low-hanging fruits is obviously tourism. We have over 300 cruise ships that pass Papua New Guinea every year. And obviously we have COVID now, but we will get through that and this will sort of recommence. So in order to attract some of these cruise ships to PNG shores, we need to have the right sort of products. And on our calculation, getting maybe 80 of the 300 cruise ships in the first 18 months when they restart operation would bring over $250 million back into our economy and over 200,000 new tourists.
National Gaming Control Board says it supports the government's agenda to create jobs for its citizens. NGCP Chairman Clement Scanau expressed that with the country facing unemployment issues, the casino will create that opportunity for Papua New Guineans.
Local and international tourists coming here to play casino. And of course, employment, as I've stated, direct and indirect. Direct employment, an estimate of between 1 and 2,000. Indirect, 5,000-10,000. Indirect employment are the taxi drivers who will be pairing or will be driving up people going up to the casino sites. They'll be making money, and I'm pretty sure Special Economic Zone Authority have got plans to also assist in progressing the agenda of special economic activities within the Special Economic Zone Authority parameters within the city. And indirect employment in terms of those that are in SME businesses also will be participating in this massive employment creation opportunity.
NGCP CEO Imelda Agon echoed similar sentiments, saying the casino business has been on the radar of the NGCB for the past 8 years.
I also want to thank Paga Hill Development for creating this opportunity where there is an economic nest, enabling the country to get into this space where we've never gotten into in terms of casino in the country. It obviously, like the CEO of Pagail just mentioned, creates an avenue for foreign money to come into the country.
While research have shown that some families in the country are being torn apart due to gambling addictions by their parents, the government has given the all clear to the company to begin development on the casino project.
It is not a new initiative. The initiative of casino is a sanctioned agenda by the government of Papua New Guinea. In its declaration of Paga Hill a special economic zone, casino is one of those activities that was mandated in its initiation. So the government has given its backing, government has given its okay, and I also note that government has recently established Special Economic Zone Authority.
Church leaders from the evangelical and apostolical churches have come out voicing their disagreement on the casino project, saying it will further extend the scale of poverty and suffering among families and communities.
The churches are very concerned about the setting up of casino because we work with the people.
That's right.
We deal with the people every day, not just Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
And we are very much aware of their plight, of the hardships, the difficulties, and the struggles to make ends meet. And to build a casino, what benefit or advantages will it bring to our people? Or will it add to the misery, the struggles and the hardships they are going through?
Over a decade ago, the landowners of Moran and Gobe of Ela province invested 22 million kina in a first casino project in the country. The project received rejection from the public. Today, the casino remains abandoned. With the government's quest to promote foreign investment and economic development, the church leaders have appealed to the government to reconsider.
After the break, researchers recommend return of Stret Pasin store scheme. Welcome back to Scope. PNG National Research Institute recently released its discussion paper number 187 on Story Belong Stret Pasin Store, reflections from beneficiaries of indigenization of the trade stores program in Papua New Guinea. The report noted that a major constraint to the growth and development of indigenous-owned small and medium enterprise in PNG has been the lack of adequate credit. Research authors Thompson Honga and Dr. Francis Odhuno contacted some beneficiaries of the program to assess whether the enterprises, households, and individual recipients benefited from the scheme and to identify challenges faced by these beneficiaries.
There is strong recommendation to bring back the Stret Pasin Store program. The Stret Pasin Store program thrived between the 1970s and 1990s. It was designed to offer credits, entrepreneurship training, and business management skills to the SME sector to support new business startup and growth of existing enterprises in the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s. The government in 2012 tried to reintroduce the scheme through the National Development Bank. The government appropriated 130 million kina seed capital funding to the NDB to revive the Stret Pasin Store scheme. Under the scheme, the NDB will was to provide 100% funding for PNG citizens to take over or build new shops, bakeries and kaibas, restaurants, or lease existing kaibas. However, NDB did not receive any funding. A discussion paper was presented this week by researchers through the PNG National Research Institute of the Stret Pasin Store scheme. Researchers Thompson Honga and Dr. Francis Oduno put the research together, citing that there was not enough data to show how the Stret Pasin Store program fared. But Honga and Dr. Oduno contacted some beneficiaries of the concept, 8 in total, to assess whether the enterprises, households, and individual recipients benefited from the scheme. According to the research, Stret Pasin Store is translated as Fair Deal Store, where the PNG Development Bank, now the NDB, acquired expert-owned retail trade stores and gave to Papua New Guineans to manage. The bank would then monitor these stores through its retail management services before transferring ownership and management of the trade stores to the recipient managers after the bank recovered its costs from the store cash flows and the entrepreneur was considered competent to take control of the business. It was said that in 1986, this program generated 25 million kina. 61 stores at that time were transferred to indigenous managers, while 35 were under probationary indigenous managers. From the interviews done with scheme beneficiaries, the Stret Pasin Store scheme has great potential. However, while the program worked well back then, the business environment and market conditions and development status of PNG has changed. Honga and Dr. Oduno recommended that should the program be revived, it must have new features encompassing current market trends. So why did such a great program fall out? The challenge in keeping this program sustainable was a lack of adequate supply of credit and incentives, which are vital to the SME sector to help it develop. But some important questions need to be answered on how to indigenize retail shops or businesses that generate 10 million kina or less, including what percentage of businesses involved in the scheme then are operating today? How many indigenous managers then have transitioned into owning supermarkets? And what percentage are making profits and competing fairly with foreign-owned businesses in the retail business? From the interviews done with the 8 beneficiaries, the program helped grow indigenous retail enterprises. Most interviewees suggested the program should be revived as the government of PNG also attempts to revive and implement the reserved activities for national enterprises in PNG. According to research findings, data of the impact on the beneficiaries showed that the scheme contributed to the well-being of individual recipients, households, and positively impacted performance of the enterprises. Some of their comments illustrated why the scheme could potentially propel or help entrepreneurs in the informal stage transition into well-established SMEs. Under the summary of benefits and challenges of the scheme in the research, the Stret Pasin Store scheme was offered to provide credit, entrepreneurship and business management skills for the recipients and, at the same time, increase loan portfolio for the bank. NDB's issue in continuing this scheme was finding appropriate sites to set up new enterprises. There was also no post-loan incentive programs to help recipients expand and grow their enterprise with additional training and loans. As a result, the scheme faced many challenges in the 1980s and early 1990s, which caused many businesses to cease operation. According to the research, it is important to note the microcredit or microloan schemes in PNG have contributed to the social, political, and economic empowerment of poor and low-income people, captured in the PNG SME Policy and SME Master Plan 2016 to 2030. The Stret Pasin Store program was modeled on the microcredit concept used in developing countries. It is apparent that SMEs in PNG are not robust or do not thrive because of a lack of access to credit, exacerbated by lack of collateral demanded by the commercial banks. One other obvious key challenge to the scheme is the influx of foreigners in the retail and small reserved business space, which is believed to have made indigenous-owned retail businesses virtually untenable. The research participants also pointed this out. One admitted he was challenged with stiff retail prices because of competition with foreign-owned businesses. However, the research points out that SMEs in PNG faced other institutional and structural challenges as well, among them the lack of knowledge to potential business opportunities, but lack of access to credit features remains prominent. Overall, 75% of the research participants suggested the government reintroduce the scheme, considering its potential to positively impact enterprises, individuals, and households. According to the United Nations, microcredit and microloan schemes have the potential to grow the SME sector and improve well-being for households, thereby reducing poverty and income inequality among various social classes. Therefore, giving access to affordable credit will potentially have the effect of meeting Sustainable Development Goal 1 and improving social equality, captured in SDG 10.
That ends another episode of Scope, a kind reminder to apply simple measures to prevent the transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you're feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance.